Hello and welcome in, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Something Always Nothing podcast. It is the best podcast on the planet. Uh, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is King. Joining me as always is my wonderful co-host, Grim himself. Grim, how you doing today?
Hi. Oh, I'm good. Thanks for asking, King. Just another day in paradise from the warm, sunny weather of down south, the deep south.
Grim, you seem to lag there a little bit. You good?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm great. I just, we have a bit of a loaded show today and only so much time to tell it. So I definitely can't wait to get to our ending topic. I have a lot to say.
I am so looking forward to our main topic today. Folks, this is the finale of Alien Earth. We made it. We made it. I said we made it. We made it.
We made, we made it. We made it. We're making it a thing now. We made it.
Yeah, we're here. If going back, if this is your first time here, welcome once again. We've been doing a deep dive on Alien Earth. We've been reviewing every episode, 2 episodes at a time, and today we'll be talking about episodes 7 and 8, which is a finale. Wow, it's exciting stuff.
It is, yeah. I got a lot of thoughts about that. Yeah, but before we get into that, we have a opening topic as we usually do, something pretty relevant out in the news sphere right now. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled off the air, seemingly rather abruptly. A lot of that had to do with comments that he had made after a certain political celebrity was assassinated recently. I'm sure most of you already know about that. It wasn't necessarily it wasn't at all about what he said about the man who had been assassinated himself. It was his observation of our current sitting president's reaction to a reporter asking him how he was holding up after the incident, and his reaction was less than remorseful, but kind of glossed over it and was like, actually, we have a really nice ballroom we're working on. Right after comments he had made about guy not seeming too broken up about it, he was pressured. The studio was pressured to pull him off air. So that was pretty wild. But thankfully, more recently, his show is back on, and as of what was it today? No, it was yesterday. Yesterday, he was reinstated, and the Kimmel Show was put back on, and he had a nice chunky monologue to say about the whole situation. But King, I know that you know a little bit more about the technical or legal aspect of this. So if you want to do me and the crowd a favor and give us a little rundown on your knowledge there, pal.
I will. But before I do, I want to more or less put out a little disclaimer, folks. The Something Always Nothing podcast is not a political podcast. The reason we are talking about this today is because it relates to potentially entertainment and your consumption of that entertainment. It all boils down to essentially censorship. And censorship from the government, I will say, in terms of basically what can be seen by the general public or what's in the public's interest, according to FCC, the chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr. He has more or less waged a political war against, or I would say in favor of the current presidential administration, which has, I would say, pretty scary ramifications if said rights of free speech are infringed upon. It all boils down to money, folks.
Don't it always?
Yeah, the Jimmy Kimmel Show is a syndicated show. It is aired on ABC. ABC is a national show. Part of the reason that it's broadcasted is through not only ABC itself, which owns, I would say, eight broadcast stations. The rest of the stations are owned by Sinclair and Nexstar. Nexstar right now is in the middle of a potential merger with Tecna, and they're trying to get FCC approval. And so they are appealing to the current presidential administration, trying to curry favor with them by trying to ban, or at least get Jimmy Kimmel off the air, which they did. They put pressure on the FCC and they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air. As of this taping, it is September 24th. Jimmy Kimmel came back on the 23rd, which was yesterday. Here's my thoughts, folks. We are a podcast where we talk about gaming and entertainment and culture. Basically, we're in the business of sharing our thoughts with you, sharing our free speech, and using our platform to more or less get some views across. None of which we try our very best not to be political, but it does, I would say, trend the waters of speech and free speech at that. These are just my thoughts about what we do, and what I would like to see more creators do is use their platforms for free speech. And that's basically what it boils down to.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Free speech. Let's go all the way. Let's keep it. Let's keep that one, okay? I like that one.
Free speech, folks.
Yeah, for sure. And to anybody curious, if you want to learn more about all of this, we'll make sure we drop a link in chat, as well as in the description to our bot or wherever we upload this after.
Yes. New Rockstars did a fantastic video, which will be the link that I will be including in the description. Fantastic video. Shout out to New Rockstars. But Grim.
Yo.
I want to use my platform. I want to share my free speech. I have some questions for you. I think you're the man suited to answer these questions.
Oh God, I'm questioning if I am, but hit me, bro.
You're the man. The last question, I would say, transitions perfectly into our main topic. But first, let me hit you with some hard-hitting journalistic questions.
Okay, do your worst.
Okay, feel free to answer, or you can plead the fifth. Just know, I'm watching.
Bro, don't ask about my trip to Monaco. Don't do
it. What are files? And
oh my God,
are they next to the X-Files?
At this point, they're probably buried so deep that they are, bro.
Folks, I'm trying to use my platform here, folks, for free speech.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, they're probably in bro's desk right now with just a whiteout over like every other name. So, something tells me they're probably a lot closer to home than you'd think. But God knows we're getting the X-Files sooner than we're getting ones. That's for darn sure. Especially with our last episode talking about life on Mars, right? Yeah, they really slid that info in there. He said, "You're asking about what? Oh, you mean aliens? You want aliens? Is that what you said?" No.
Here's what you really want: aliens. Okay. Next question. I have two more questions. Okay.
All right.
Now this one I've thought a lot about. Folks who know me know I have an affinity for anime, and Naruto specifically. So this is a fun one. Ready?
Okay, bet. Yeah, I'm ready for this one. What you got?
Who wins in a 1v1? Minato Namikaze or Itachi Uchiha in their prime?
That's so good. Minato's like, he's the yellow flash. He's lightning fast, but Itachi in his prime is like genjutsu master, and if he can't beat him with speed, all he's got to do is freaking look at him. He captures him in a genjutsu. But is Minato too fast to be caught in a genjutsu? I hate this question. Why was this the most difficult question? uh, I'm gonna have to hesitantly say Minato. Minato, only because when you say in his prime, I think of him with the Nine Tails power, and I think he could probably clap some Uchiha cheeks with that for sure.
Okay.
What about
All
you?
right.
You an Itachi man?
I'm an Uchiha fan. Sorry, so we're
Uchiha scum. Want them out of my village.
we'll be talking about you at the next clan meeting there.
Careful when you're talking about clan meetings.
Oh no, Uchiha clan, folks. Uchiha.
Okay, I'm glad.
All right.
Is there a tiki torch behind King? What is
No, there's a planet. There's an alien planet.
Oh,
All right, last question, and you could after you answer this, you could take us straight into our main topic.
oh, okay, big bets.
Would you rather have Thor's powers or a xenomorph as a pet?
Oh, okay. I mean, I already have a xenomorph as a pet, so I'm gonna take Thor's powers anytime. Like, there's a lot of things you could achieve with little bro, but like, if I could get the lightning eyes and just be like buff on command, freaking grow an eye patch or something. I don't know how you grow an eye patch, but I figure out a way. I figure out a way. I'll make it happen. Thor's powers. Thor's powers. Come on. You gotta give me harder ones than that.
You get a cool hammer.
Cool hammer. Before I move on, what's yours? Don't tell me Xenomorph as a pet, really?
I'm taking the Xeno as a pet, bro. Sorry. I mean, I already have, Thor's body. What do I need a little hammer for?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll get you a face hugger for Christmas so we can make that happen. Huh?
Thank you. Very kind of you.
You're welcome. I like to think I'm thoughtful like that. I put a lot of thought into my Christmas presents. You want a baby? We'll make that happen.
Oh, okay.
Pause?
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Perfect timing. Move on to the next topic. Our highlight for this evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you decide to be watching this, is Alien Earth. Let's get into our breakdown of episode 7. Way hype, guys. We're here. We did it.
We made it.
Okay, so for the penultimate episode, the title is Emergence. And before we do our spoiler breakdown, let's give a brief synopsis, spoiler-free. And just like for 5 and 6, 7 and 8 are going to be pretty brief because, guys, we're pretty late into the show. And if you haven't been watching it up to this point, something tells me you're probably not going to watch it for a while. So might as well ride the ride along with us. So episode 7, Emergence. We take place almost immediately after 6. We get a chest burster. We get death, betrayal, plotting. We definitely it for sure feels like it's the penultimate episode, but in a lot of ways it leaves you wondering like how they're going to end this in a concise, like cohesive format, especially for the final episode. Well, boy, do I have news for you when we get there. All right, so that's about all I really want to say spoiler free for episode 7, Emergence. So we're going to be putting up that spoiler tag. Let me know when we're in the clear, King.
I got you, buddy. It's up.
Hey, big bets. All right, so no more waiting, guys. Into episode 7, Emergence. We start with Slightly and Arthur's body. If you don't remember from the last episode, Slightly had tricked Arthur into the lab. Not necessarily tricked him, but once Arthur was in the lab expecting Toodles, Isaac, who had passed away, Slightly let out a face hugger attached to Arthur. Slightly hit the body. Now he has moved it to his bedroom, and he's just sitting there with Arthur's body, face hugger still attached. It's kind of cute because at one point he tries to feed him like some water, some liquid or whatever, like through the face hugger. Face hugger's not about it. He's like, no, he does. This is mine. He doesn't need this crap. He doesn't need it. So he pushes all the liquid out and kind of tightens his grip around him. Not much later after we see this, Smee, another one of the Lost Boys, comes knocking at the door to check on Slightly, pushes his way in and sees Arthur's body all wrapped up with the face hugger still attached. He's rightfully freaking out. Slightly is somehow able to convince me that everything is going to be okay. He's being blackmailed. His mother is in danger, and he needs to help Slightly get Arthur's body to the beach for the Yutani boys and Moro to pick up, so Slightly's mother will be okay. So he is able to convince me to help him as they are sneaking Arthur out of the facility, which insane that they're even able to get him as far as they do, in such like a highly secure facility. They run into Kirsch of all people, and just when you think the cat's out of the bag and everything is cooked, Kirsch surprises us all by helping the boys escape, by basically giving them a rundown of how to get to the beach undetected, which now you're like, this entire show we've been wondering what this guy's motivations is, and I'm still like, what is he doing at this point? What's going on? I think we get a clearer picture of it near the end of this episode in the next episode, though. So they're able to escape with Arthur. They're going through the woods, and at one point they set Arthur down, and the face hugger detaches from his body and just scampers away. Arthur wakes up and has traumatic amnesia. Can't remember what happened to the point of him getting there. So he doesn't remember anything that happened before the face hugger, like immediately before the face hugger. And he's very inquisitive. Both the boys are freaking out, like how is he even up right now? Where'd the thing go? I thought we needed the thing to bring to tomorrow, blah blah blah. And as they lie to Arthur and tell him that there was a gas leak and that he had gone unconscious, la-di-da-di-da, right? Arthur believes it for a little bit, but he picks up that these boys are lying and tries to give them, the guilt talk rundown, like, hey, you're still kids. You don't know how to lie yet. I can tell something's wrong, but hey, it's going to be okay. Just, come with me. We'll go back to the island, the lab, the facility, and we'll make this all right. It's so wholesome, Arthur. Oh, I love this guy, dude.
I love Arthur.
Freaking sweetheart, bro. What a nice guy. And just as you're feeling all these feels and your heart's pounding, bro, Arthur's heart starts pounding, dog. As soon as Slightly, Smee's already there holding Arthur's hand, ready to go back. We're seeing the kids in these hybrids, really. And just as Slightly decides, yeah, I'm gonna go with you too. Arthur, the inevitable moment, the thing we have been holding our breath ever since we saw that face hugger drop out of Arthur. He drops to the ground and he's like convulsing and he's begging Slightly for help. It's the second time he's begged Slightly for help, and it just crushes my soul, bro. Oh, this sucks so bad. We get our chest burster. Little bro. We got a little bro pops out of another little homie to the family, pops out of Arthur's chest right then and there. The boys are soaked in blood and absolutely shook. This little guy goes slithering to the tree line and is gone, dude. Gone. The boy Slightly's freaking out because he knows he needed it to bring the Moro. Now he's so worried that his mom's gonna come to harm. And dude, this was crazy. What did you think about the Arthur chestburster scene?
Bro, I love that scene, especially because leading up to that scene, he just lets out this paternal, he's like, I know you guys are lying, you're not good liars. He's like, just do the right thing, come back with me, and holds their hands and drops. And such a good scene. But I did have some questions for you because you're my resident alien expert.
I got you, big dog. What's up?
2 questions. First question. Is amnesia a part of the alien lore? Because I didn't know that.
So, to an extent, it is. There's a darker theme behind it, and I'm not sure if you are familiar with those darker themes of the xenomorphs, the facehuggers, even Ash the android in the first film, but a lot of it is themed around, dare I say? And in that sense, it is. A lot of the characters that are attached by facehuggers don't remember it happening because it's a trauma response that they block it out.
Nice.
I know. It makes me mad and uncomfortable to think about the deeper meanings behind the franchise, but the Ridley Scott and those who followed definitely keep these themes fresh and relevant in these minds.
That was just. I don't think I ever really. I don't pay too much attention to in the movies, when the chest, or not the chest, but the facehugger comes off, their reaction. But in this show, they made it a point to really show that he had amnesia and that he didn't remember.
Yeah. I
Second
think.
question.
Before you move on to that,
Yeah, no,
I
go
think that is emulated in the first film when John Hurt's character gets the face hugger on him, and then in the very next scene after the face hugger dies and falls off, he's seen having breakfast at the table with his friends like nothing ever happened. You see what I mean?
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, no, I do
And
remember that.
your next question?
Uh, shoot. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, is this the first time we see a chest burster in broad daylight? Because I remember that's struck out to me too.
You are correct in assuming that we have had chest bursters, under light, under light before, but never in broad daylight. So yeah, I would say this is a
Yeah.
first for the franchise, film wise.
Okay, okay. I was just thinking about that when I saw that episode. And I was like, oh, this is the first chest burster. Number one, at the beach, because they were at the beach, and number two, in broad daylight. Yeah, it
And
just stuck out to me.
it didn't make it any less horrifying, did it?
No.
It was still gross, and I still felt terrible for the person it was
Terrifying.
going to. Oh no.
Yeah.
Poor Arthur. R.I.P. my boy. Because the next time we see him, his lifeless body is being dragged by the boys after they make an impeccable raft, bro. These two, these two hybrids, they make a raft in like no time. Maybe there was a time lapse that we didn't notice, but they were quick about it because they got Arthur on a raft in the next scene, and they are dragging him through a river, trying to make their way, still looking for Moro and his team. When assuredly enough, we see a bunch of Utani boys come rolling out the water like SEAL Team freaking 12, dude. Yeah, they are maxed out, fitted, and kitted, and they were carrying some pulse rifles. Give me an Aliens nostalgia bone, heavy. Oh, I love this part.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moro confronts them and immediately knows like, oh, okay, this guy no longer has the xenomorph inside him. Like, what'd you do with him? They explain what happened, and Moro continues to drag. He drags Smee slightly along into their infiltration on the Prodigy building, and the entire time Slightly is asking Moro, "Where's my mom? Is she okay?" Moro doesn't answer her, and instead gives Slightly some garbage about, oh, when adults make mistakes, they have to atone for their mistakes, blah blah blah. Like, really, you're gonna right now's the time? Like, come on, come on, man. So we'll pick up with them near the very end of the episode, near the end. While this is happening, we get Wendy approaching Kirsch and Boy K in the lab, where they are observing Toodles, aka Isaac's recently melted, freaking dissolved, eaten up by flies body. And when she sees him, she's immediately freaking out, like, this isn't supposed to happen. Like, I thought we were immortal, She says the term, I thought we were premium. Right, like that sounds like some regurgitated BS that Boy K would have spewed to them at some point, like your premium product.
They're the Pro Max of the hybrids.
Pro Max, right? Definitely not immortal. Definitely not immortal. So she learns this in this scene, and I think everything really, like the realization crashes on her that they are not special to Boy K. They are a product, and they're not safe on the island. So right then, I think, is the moment she decides that she needs to get the heck out of there. As she is walking towards the door, Boy K has his guard stop her. It's like, you can't tell anyone about this, and she essentially tells him, like, try to stop me, just without saying it exactly like that. And as a show of force, she does her little another little Xeno call.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Just flapping my tongue. A little Xeno call, and her brother's lung burster bro is fully grown now and sitting on the other side of an observation glass window. Here's her little clicks and starts headbutting the wall, just as like a show of force to Boy K. This visibly, freaks him out a little, but he's been very good at not showing, just pure fear. So it always comes across as amusement or bewilderment more than anything. So yeah, this is the show of force. She's able to leave the lab. She collects Hermit. They decide to recruit Nibs as part of their escape. They also try to take Curly with them, but Curly, for obvious reasons, wants to stay on the island because she's still drinking the Kool-Aid. She still believes the vision behind Boy K's dream of immortality. So they fail to bring Curly. They go on a trip, just the three of them, Nibs, Hermit, and Wendy, to the dock because they know of a way to escape, the way that Arthur had told them in the previous episode. And on their way there, they run into some soldiers that are dispatched by her little Zeno bro. And this is the third time I think Hermit's come face to face with a Zeno that doesn't kill him. And their trip progresses after that to the dock. But before that, we get the scene of Moro, slightly Smee, and the Utani Corps rolling up into the Prodigy building. On their way to the Prodigy building, they're able to find the baby Zeno. Wait, did they find it, or was it? I think it was already captured. Yeah, it was already captured by Kirsch and Prodigy's forces. So when they pull up, Kirsch and everybody and Prodigy forces are waiting for them in an ambush, ready to go. They force them to put their guns down. Kirsch makes a remark about Moro not being a sore loser. Like, don't be a sore loser. I've won this game, because they've been kind of, at interesting odds for about the whole run of the show since they met on the Maginot in episode 2. They are captured. Smee and Slightly are taken back into Prodigy hands, and we'll see more from them next episode. But we go back to the dock where Wendy, Hermit, and Nibs are making their escape on the boat. At least they're trying to. As they get on the boat, once again, immediately ambushed by Prodigy forces. Also, Hermit's old team, his old search and rescue team, are there. And as Hermit is trying to appease to their humanity, like, we need to get out of here, blah blah blah. One of the soldiers, who is Flat Top Bro. I think I made a mention of him in our first episode. Our homie with the flat top. He's got like a mustache. He looks like he could have been a sergeant. He's got like a thin Mr. T stripe right here, and it's super like, it's done in the style of flat top. I like this guy. I just like him because of his hair, Nibs does not like him because this guy is just a D-bag. He grabs Nibs's little doll that she's been obsessing with since her therapy session in Dame Sylvia's office, and he throws it off into the water just like a D-bag. Unnecessary, bro. Unnecessary. And Nibs immediately piles on this guy and rips off his jaw, bro. She rips off his jaw. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Bro. Oh, super graphic, super awesome. Dope, right?
Nibs does not play around.
No, you don't touch that doll, dog. You don't touch that doll. Yeah, absolute crazy. And she gets another one of Herman's friends in a headlock, and it looks like she's about to rip off her freaking head. And then Hermit is forced to tase Nibs, which brings her down to the ground, and she is seizing up, convulsing, and we're hearing, little like gurgling noises out of her. And at this moment, I was led to believe she was dead. I think you believe the same thing at this point.
I thought she was conscious. I was like, oh, there goes Nibs.
Wendy does too, and she looks at Hermit with complete disgust, like, what did you do? And that's where we end the episode. Smash to Black. God, what song was playing? There was another one of these these early 2000s rock songs that have been laced through the entire series, and I thought this one was all right. It's just still every time it's, am I watching a Korn music video? What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tripping me out. So that was the breakdown of episode 7, Emergence. Pretty wild. I liked a lot from it. There was a lot of stuff, like a certain character decisions that threw me off a little, didn't make any sense. But all in all, I still had fun with this episode, much like I had fun with the entire series up to this point. King, you gotta let me know, what'd you think of episode 7, Emergence, dude?
I loved episode 7. I think, as you will see, because at the end I want to do a overall rating. You'll find that the overall rating affects at least my criticism of this show has been consistent, and that it carries through the end of the show, where I had no complaints about this show. Xenomorph, bro, is like, he's radio controlled now. Like, he's attack on command. Wendy, fantastic. My only criticism of this episode has nothing to do with the episode. It's the credits. It's a song, bro. Why?
It's so weird, dude. It's so disjointed.
I don't know. I was hoping that as the episodes progressed, I kind of had after the second episode, I had a feeling that I was like, all right, we're gonna get a different song every episode. Maybe I'll like the songs. I have yet to like any of the songs. Like, they're good songs.
Spoiler for episode 8. We still haven't gotten that Hooba Stank song.
Such a missed opportunity. No, Holly, what are you doing? Call Hooba Stink. But yeah, I love this episode. We got to see more Zeno action. Morrow and Kirsch, their dynamic, honestly, it's one of the better parts of the show for me. Aside from
magnetic.
Yeah. Seeing those two on screen face off. So good. So good.
Oh yeah, face to face, dude. So magnetic. I loved it. My eyes were glued to the screen anytime those two were on. So we do chicken buckets right quick for episode 7, then we'll move on to episode 8. Yeah. So give me your chicken buckets, King. What'd you think of that one?
5 chicken buckets. I love this episode. My criticism has nothing to do with the episode. The episode is fantastic. Arthur. Oh, Arthur. Poor Arthur. Jesus. I can't catch a break.
No, not in the least bit, actually.
No. But yeah, 5 chicken buckets. My chicken was golden. It was crispy. It was delicious. Little sprinkle of salt. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I respect that. I'm going to try not to let my feelings for episode 8 affect my score for 7. I was thinking initially that 7 was closer to a 4, but after breaking it down and realizing how much fun I did have with it, I would have to give it a 5. But I would say a light 5. If we did 0.5s, man, I tell you what, I'd be a total fence sitter, right? I know. I know. So yeah, I'll give it a 5, just because compared to episode 8, I like this one a lot more, and I'll explain why when we get to 8.
Okay.
Well, yeah. All right, guys. So that was episode 7, Emergence. We won't waste any time before getting into episode 8. We'll do the quick spoiler-free synopsis. This one is gonna just bypass you in the blink of an eye, okay? Because it's the season finale. Okay, guys. So episode 8, our finale. We get some resolved plot lines, and we get some plot lines not so resolved. And spoiler alerts, guys, we get some sequel bait. I don't know why I'm including that in the spoiler-free synopsis, but just to let you know, we'll probably be getting a season 2. And if we don't, oh god, yikes! Whoops! Yikes! All right, so. We'll just get right into the finale, friendos. This is a jam-packed finale, but at the same time, it's the same length as every other episode, if not like a minute or two shorter. So it almost feels criminally, blasé and lengthwise. But anyways, so episode 8 opens up with, I believe this is the scene with Dame Sylvia at the children's graves. Come to find out, Dame Sylvia has been visiting every one of the hybrids' human graves, their actual bodies, and this leads me to believe that Dame Sylvia, she wouldn't be visiting these graves if she believed that those children were still alive inside the hybrid. So in my mind, this is almost confirmation that all they had been doing was uploading templates of personalities into these lifeless husks and passing them off as the actual individual who had passed. So This is pretty dark for me, but we don't get a lot of time to ponder at the relevance of this scene before we see our little Zeno bro slinking around in the woods behind her, and before you know it, she turns around, she's face to face with the full-grown Zeno, Wendy Zeno, the lung burster to be specific, not the one that had escaped from Arthur's chest in the previous episode. And this is cut pretty short, just as we think, bro's about to take a little nomp out of her. Hermit's friends, the search and rescue team, who I believe is led by the main guy who looked kind of like he could have played Chris Redfield in like a Resident Evil movie. His name was Rashidi, and the girl who almost had her head ripped off in episode 7 by Nibs, her name was Siberian. That's right. Unique name. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna name my first kid Siberian. Actually, let me workshop that. But yeah, they save her. They pop the Zeno right in the head with a bullet. We don't see any blood. It's almost like, it just bounced off of him like a rubber bullet. So I'm wondering, like, how invincible is this thing? In Aliens, we had the colonial marines mowing down hordes of xenomorphs. A warrior xenomorphs, not even a drone like our little bro is, So anyways, they're able to save Dame Sylvia. They pop bro in the head. He goes running off. Like I said, no blood. So weird. But anyways, they get her back to Prodigy headquarters, where they put her in her room for safekeeping. Not so safe, as we come to find out later. Later we see Boy K. He is talking to Adam Ines over communications as Adam is filling him in on the deterioration of his security force. He's like, bro, they're killing all our men. We have a containment breach. Everything's looking bad. You need to evacuate. This is where we get the Boy K crash out. Dude, we finally get to see like some real raw like frustration and emotion from him as he's holding his ADHD medication. It really shows like his deteriorating mental state decline. We get Boy K crashing out. He throws his meds. He's freaking out. He's like, tell Wayland Yutani, tell Yutani to bring it. Come on. He wants war. And then we transition from that scene to Hermit's friends. They are securing the lab. Wait. Sorry. That's later. The Hermit's friends are going through Prodigy building. Okay, so in the next scene, we get right after is Boy Cavalier entering the cell where he is keeping all of the Lost Boys. Not entering, but he's outside of it, taunting them. I believe it was Smee that makes a comment about let us out if you want to play, because Boy Cavalier's like, who am I going to play with now? Yeah. Smee very sinisterly is like, let us out and find out. Let us out. We'll play with you. So that leads into Wendy making slight threats at Boy Cavalier leaving Holier Than Art Thou, and then we see that Wendy is actually taking control of certain security subsystems within the facility. She lets out her Xeno bro, who has been just on a rampage this entire episode. She also releases Hermit and Morrow, who had gotten Hermit had gotten locked up in the previous episode as well for trying to help the Lost Boys and his sister escape. He is locked in with Morrow. She frees them come to find out. So we used to think that she had like some weird, telepathy with the xenomorphs and with technology, because she's seemingly able to communicate from long distances with the xenomorphs and control technology with her mind. Well, come to find out, everything on that island is essentially on the same Wi-Fi, right? So she's able to tweak anything on the Wi-Fi and mess with it, as we'll see later with a synth that we'll talk about when we get there. Right. So it's the same thing with the xenomorph. She's like able to communicate with the clicks, like like elephants do that, right? They like have some like subsonic way of communicating. I think the same with certain insects. Insects, that's what it was. Insects and
Yeah,
elephants
I don't know. But
communicate at low volume.
I think maybe dolphins do that too, where they use like sonar. Yeah,
Well, that's an echolocation, a little bit different,
echolocation.
but
That's sonar. Yeah.
it's similar. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, though. So yeah. That is sort of like our explanation for how she's able to do what she does. And we see that as she's tweaking with all of the security around the island. So like I said, she lets out Moro and Hermit. Hermit stops Moro from killing one of the guards. Moro, like, Babu Singh, what was the actor's name? Because he freaking kills it this entire show, dude.
Yes.
Moro's Hermit's telling Moro, like, I'm gonna try to save everybody that I can. And Moro says, well, you better save the kids, referring to the hybrids, because I'm burning everything down. It's so good, so good. Okay, so and then the next scene we get Kirsch working in his lab, and behind him we see two security guards. Only for a minute though, because the next time we cut back to that back shot, the spot where those two security guys were standing, just blood splatters all over the wall, dude. Looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. Gorgeous. So yeah, that leads into now we see Moro slowly creeping up behind Kirsch while he's working, and we think he's about to get the drop on our boy, the Sen, until Kirsch at the last second spins around with a blicky. Bah, bah, tries to take out Moro right then and there. This leads into an epic Cyborg versus Simba. So sad.
Oh,
I'm waiting for, man, for these two, for what was it, an unstoppable force and an immovable object to crash into each other. God, do they? If anything, I feel like this fight happens way too fast, man. I wanted more from it, but we get a good brawl for sure. It ends up leading to the ground where Kirsch is actually thrown over a table, gets his back broken, and is unable to move his leg seemingly. I don't know why they would, give a synthetic, android like the same sort of ability to move as a human as soon as you cut off that spine and like, oh, you can't move now. But design flaws, whatever. And yeah.
Hold on. You know what that fight reminded me of?
What?
Batman versus Bane.
Not you comparing Kirsch to Batman.
I mean, Timothy Oliphant would make a fantastic Batman. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Just and then yeah, even Moro goes on to do his little Shakespearean speech.
Please give us the speech real quick, because I couldn't remember how it went, or what was the fictional character's name that he quotes.
So he starts. Yeah, no, it's based on an old tale of John Henry, and I remember when I first heard that, in my brain, because I'm such a nerd, I heard John Henry Irons, and I was like, oh, they're referencing Superman right now. Yeah, because John Henry Irons is the fictional Superman, in the Superman
one of them in the
one of them,
death of post-death of Superman run. Yeah.
But so he goes into his Shakespearean monologue, and man, hearing Moro just speak, or anytime he's in the camera, fantastic. And I found out the actor's name was Babu Sise.
Sise.
Yeah.
I want to see this guy in everything. He's so good. Yeah. He's so good, so magnetic. Yeah, charismatic too, even when he is the bad guy. But yeah, I feel like this is a very empowering scene for him, up until the point where you realize that one of the bullets fired earlier had actually gone through one of the display cases, one of the enclosures for one of the aliens. And this alien was our little ceiling plant guy that we had from the first episode that Isaac interacts with seemingly for a moment. The pod. And we see it like scampering across the ceiling for a second. I didn't realize this thing could like parachute out, but we're like led to believe this entire time that it's just like kind of like a cylindrical alien that hangs from ceilings, kind of like a Venus flytrap. But no, this thing looks more like an octopus scattering around the the ceiling. So we see it for a moment. Moro hears it, gets spooked, and as soon as he diverts his attention for just a second, Kirsch capitalizes on this, and he's even though he's broken in half, essentially, he's able to get Moro to the ground and incapacitate him by seemingly choking him out until he's unconscious. And then after this scene, we lead into, I believe this is when we see Hermit's soldier friends, led by Rashidi and Siberian. I'm going to keep forgetting her name. Well, won't have to remember it long. We get a scene of them in the elevator, squad of 4, and as they're going up, we can see that that Wendy is seemingly messing with them. She makes it seem like the elevator is about to self-destruct, and these guys are freaking out.
Funny, dude. So funny. I love that.
This stressed me out. It was like, no, she's playing too much. No, I don't like that. And we see as the countdown timer for the elevator is going down, we cut to Smee playing a game of hide and seek in the prison cell with the rest of the hybrids, which, like, how are you gonna play hide and seek in there, bro? It seemed like a lazy game to me. He's actually the one doing the countdown, and she's like broadcasting, his countdown to the elevator. Well, she lets them out of the elevator, no problem. If anything, it was like a childlike display to mess with them, troll them, I guess. Well, it doesn't extend their life much longer, though, because next we get them, the 4 soldiers, who, like, this entire time, these guys have felt like, so I've been getting heavy Resident Evil 1 vibes from them, because they're like wearing the stars. They're wearing this like big, like, padded armor kind of on the shoulders. They look exactly like stars from the Resident Evil series. Even the main guy, Rashidi, the captain of the squad, he gives me such like heavy, like, leading man zombie movie vibes. Maybe call it Carlos Oliveira from Resident Evil 3, or Chris Redfield from the first one. So to see them in this lab with all these creatures, it made me giddy. I liked it. I was there for the vibe entirely. Doesn't last long, though, because as Siberian is investigating one of these cells, which is actually the xenomorph or xenobro, long gone but never forgotten, from the first couple episodes, his corpse has still been in the lab this entire time, and he's just been melting through a table, like, progressively throughout every episode. We've seen this table, like, just lose more and more of its mass because of the Xenos acid blood. It's still steaming, for Christ's sakes. Like, holy crap, I didn't realize they could. So eventually this is just gonna keep going until it melts through the floor and eventually the facility. So it'd be cool if we get a season 2 to just check up on that body, see how bro's doing,
Yeah.
I want to see how buddy's doing. So yeah, this is post the fight with Kirsch and Moro. At this point, we get a scene of Boy Cavalier returning to the lab to gloat to the kids. While this is happening, he has Adam Ines retrieving Hermit because he wants to put the TSLS, our eyeball alien, into Hermit. So we have a lot of plot points essentially happening at the same time. And he sends Adam Ines to convince Hermit by telling him that your sister is waiting with Boy Cavalier in his office. We want to talk to you about, a proposition that involves you and your sister. So leading him to believe that maybe he'll be able to leave the island with his sister. And as he's leading him, we see that Wendy is confronted by Boy Cavalier with one of his guards. And Boy Cavalier breaks into a monologue, essentially about his... Yeah.
He breaks into his Joker monologue.
It's Joker. So much cringy. So cringy when he put it like that. But yeah, he really does let loose in the scene. He gets a little wild, he gets a little wacky. Yeah. We really get to see Samuel Blinken earn his paycheck as Boy Cavalier. And he starts monologuing to the hybrids about his past, and he's like, I had a drunk daddy. So yeah, kind of like the Joker. I see it, right? Yeah. I had a daddy. He told me not to smile. Type. Yeah, super weird. he talks about how his father was an abusive drunk that used to beat him, and that at the age of 6 he was able to make his own android. He modeled this android to look like his father, and he essentially tells them that he had this android murder his father and then pose as his father for the rest of his life, and then later, stage the accidental death of his dad. But this also plays alongside a visual of Adam Ines waiting for Hermit in his bedroom. So this is essentially our reveal that Adam Ines is an android replicant of Boy K's father. I thought this was going to be Kirsch, man. Like, I honestly thought it was going to be Kirsch, so it was a surprise for me. I know Adam Ines is, like, up to this point, we've kind of maybe suspected, like, oh yeah, this guy is too much of a, he's too much of a bend the knee to not be a synth. But we've had so many company men in these, in the franchise alone, that it wasn't that hard to believe that he was that loyal, dedicated, devoted, blah blah blah. We next see Adam Ines being loading Hermit into Boy K's office, shutting the door, locking it. Hermit comes face to face with our TSL's goat, the eyeball alien still lodged in this goat's body. He enters the room and sees like its enclosure just completely wide open, and then we see the goat, and he doesn't react fast enough in this moment, to be honest. He kind of waits for this eyeball alien, the TSLS, to dislodge itself from the goat corpse and start to crawl its way towards him before he decides, oh, I gotta run. So he does a really smart thing, actually. Like, yeah, I bash on him for not moving fast enough, but he locks himself into the TSLS's cage where it had been locked up this entire time. But it doesn't take long for the TSLS to move across the enclosure and find the feeding slot and break into it. So this, for me, was like, okay, so why wouldn't it have used that feeding slot to break out earlier? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that part. So Hermit is forced out of the cage, and as it looks like he is cooked, because this little eyeball bro slingshots itself like full force at Hermit, is trying to dig into his eye, but Hermit's got his hands in front. We get Wendy crashing through a window to come save the day. She goes and slaps the TSLS off of him, and I don't know why she didn't stomp it, but she goes and gives Hermit like a statue or a trophy that's in the room to crush the TSLS, and as he's about to, Adam Ines comes in and yeets our boy Hermit, eats him right across the room, and then we get the reveal. The reveal is Wendy goes to attack Adam Ines, and Adam Ines straight picks her up and tosses her across the room, and gives his British bad guy monologue. We got a lot of monologues just the past few episodes.
I love the monologues, and I especially love a bad guy British monologue. So good.
Actually fantastic. Yeah, this was such a vibe. Yeah, because he takes off his jacket and starts rolling up his sleeve. I told Boy Cavalier that we didn't need to waste the money on this technology. Like putting kids in a body was a stupid idea. With all that, are we there yet? Crap. Wow. Okay. So really programmed bro to be a grumpy old man. So do you think you would program him to be like the opposite of your father? But I guess he is in the way that he's obedient to Boy K. But yeah, so we get a fight between no,
we don't.
Let me correct myself. We don't get a fight between Wendy and Adam Ines, because Wendy spots the TSLS crawling towards her brother, who is not knocked unconscious, but he got his butt kicked and he's on the ground. So she jukes around Adam Ines and does the coolest little kick. Wish I could get my leg up that high, but she kicks that TSLS across the room, and eyeball bro is like, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm good. I'm out. He crawls through a little drain. We'll see him in a little bit, though. Yeah, TSLS is gone for now. He made his escape. So he's smart. It wasn't just some mindless hive mind alien like a lot of the Xenos are when they have a queen, right? And then Adam Ines is about to swing on Wendy, and she puts up her hands and screams, stop. And she's able to freeze Adam Ines in place. Come to find out, bro is on the network with every other device in the facility. They're all on the same Wi-Fi plan.
they're
Same
they're on
Wi-Fi.
that Prodigy family plan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. Yeah. So this is where she discovers like she is truly in power at this point. She pushes Adamines over, and this really cements like, okay, she's gonna be the superpower for the rest of this episode, the rest of this show. So she sends the Lost Boys after she sends Curly after the soldiers that are in the lab. She sends Smee and Slightly after Kirsch and the Cyborg, and then she sends Nibs after Dame Sylvia, and finally she sends our little Xeno bro after Boy K. And she says, "Yeah, I sent someone special after Boy K." Yeah, we find it was the Xeno bro. Smee and Slightly encounter Kirsch and Morrow badly beaten in the lab. Kirsch makes a funny comment, like, "You guys couldn't have showed up 10 minutes later." And I felt a little bad for Kirsch. Like, I've liked him this entire show. I know that he's just as guilty, maybe not so, as most of the staff involved in what happened to these hybrids and what they've become. But yeah, they tie him up. He tells him like, "Quick, tie Morrow up before he comes to." Like, no, they tie him up right away. And he's shook. He's like, "What is going on?" I think he can process that this is a clear mutiny, though. Morrow wakes up. Morrow, out of his unconsciousness, wakes right up and immediately starts, I don't want to say pleading, but trying to reassure Slightly that he didn't hurt his mother. So this is like the first, not the first, but this is a nice little chunk of humanity we get to see with Babu Sisu. Great acting this entire show. Him and Timothy Oliphant steal every scene they're in. But this isn't enough for Slightly. He takes back some of his power and he knocks Morrow the heck out. So they drag them back to the holding cells. Then we get Nibs approaching Dame Sylvia, who was rescued earlier and put into her office, which, like, come on, she should have been evacuated with the rest of the non-essential personnel. But that's besides the point. She is taken by Nibs. Curly, we see her, but we'll lead into that. The soldiers from earlier, Rashidi and them, are investigating the lab that we left off in earlier. And who is in there but our little pod bro? Our pod bro is sneaking around the lab. Yep, he's salivating, dude. He's salivating up on the ceiling. He gets some of his saliva on Siberian, the woman with red dreads that almost got her head ripped off in episode 7. Well, they didn't buy her much time because she looks up and sees the alien pod and has a fat minute to react, dude. This was another part. Like, this happened a few times throughout the series, is that like character sees something bad, and instead of reacting immediately, they're deer in headlights, and the thing happens. She gets swallowed up by the pod. Amazing, so cool, dude, so cool. This thing swoops down, grabs her like just the most gross Venus flytrap you've ever seen, and starts crunching on her. You see the blood and gore drip down, and while she's being eaten alive, she's shooting her rifle wildly, and she kills the other 2 soldiers and Rashidi's squad. There were 4 of them at the start, and now it's just Rashidi, and he's looking up in just dismay and disbelief and just screams, "I just fell." And he hears something behind him, so he turns around. There's Curly with a big old metal canister, bops him unconscious. Correct me later, but I don't think we see Rashidi again. So
No, we don't.
I'm led to believe he's being held somewhere else, huh?
I have a theory about that, but
okay. All right. I want to hear your theory later, for sure. Big bets. So yeah, at this point we have just about everybody round up, all but Boy K. Then we cut to Boy K putting on a bulletproof vest as he's just hopping and strolling along the corridors with strobe lights and sirens just blaring, like, $1 million to anybody who can find me. My last bodyguard's dead, so make sure you come and get me. And as he's strolling along, we see our little Zeno bro up on the ceiling. He does not, though. The next time he looks around, we see our Xenobro right there in front of him as he's trying to just lollygag, make his escape subtly out of the facility. And then that's followed with kind of a freaking awesome little like blaring horn music segment, and we get the reveal of Wendy and Hermit walking out of doors to walking into the room together. I like this scene. It looks really cool. We get the music, the horns playing. It's a vibe this moment. Almost immediately after their arrival, we get more Prodigy troops coming into the building. Wendy gives a little
That's pretty good.
Can't wait until I can stop doing that. This will be nice. And she orders the Zeno to murder the soldiers. And the boy K is like, "Oh, I think I just peed myself." He's still trying to keep a brave face. So instead of showing fear, he tends to show dismissive nature, or no, he tends to smile and try to chuckle through a lot of it. A lot of nervous laughter. And asks Hermit to help him up. Like, "Can you help me up, boy?" Gives him one of those boy. Like, what do you mean by that? It's not going to. Hermit knocks him out with a big old kick, and the next time we see Boy K, he is in a cell with the rest of his conspirators, aside from Moro, of course. So we have Boy K, Dame Sylvia, Kirsch, my poor boy Kirsch, up there with a broken back on one of the bunks, just looking like he doesn't want to be here. Moro is locked up as well. He's got like chains wrapped around his body, something covering his synthetic arm. And we get Wendy and the rest of the Lost Boys coming out, and Wendy really asserting her dominance over all of these people who have been trying to control her. We see Hermit behind her. He's not in the cage with the rest of them because she has since kind of gotten over her anger with Hermit after Smee, of all people, tells her that she should forgive him. And what wins her over is that he told her, like, he's one of us. Like, Nibs was trying to kill someone. Nibs was trying to kill one of his friends. Like, he was justified. He didn't kill Nibs. He just stopped it, blah, blah, blah. So Smee has, like, slowly become one of my favorite. He might be my favorite hybrid, honestly. I'm going to say it right now. Yeah, Smee is my favorite hybrid. He's the most believable. He's got the most, like, childlike candor to him. Earlier when Boy Kirsch is running away from all of them, Smee like pops up behind Wendy and is like, is just trying to scare Boy K. It's just so goofy, and I love the actor. I love the character. Smee just grew on me throughout. He's such a good friend. He helped slightly with Arthur's body, even though he probably knew that wasn't the right thing to do. But that's a real homie, and one that'll help you.
He's a bro, yeah.
Yeah, I'd be your Smee dog. I'd help you hide bodies. I got you, King. I got you. So yeah. So you're welcome, bro. Come on. Yo, we started a podcast. We got this. So yeah. She is giving the rundown to all of the adult characters, telling them how that she's going to be better than them. She's essentially roasting Boy K, calling him saying that he was never a boy, he was never a kid. Since the age of 6, he's just been an angry little man, and he's just like his father, blah blah blah. And yeah, man, we're getting dark vibes. She's saying that they're gonna essentially start their own faction. We're getting like android taking over vibes. It gets kind of sketchy, and you can see Hermit's reaction to her speech, and he's got a look of worry on her face, and on his face, sorry. And we get the episode ending with this final line and another rock drop, cut to black, by Wendy saying, "We're gonna," say the line for me, King.
Now we rule, because
now we rule.
Now we
smash the black. Just like every freaking episode has ended this season. We also get the sight of Wayland Yutani troops pulling up in full force, man. They knew the first wave didn't work, so now they're sending the whole freaking army, dude. You got tons of dropships coming, approaching the Prodigy Island, dude. Yo. So they're setting up for a banger. I gotta be honest, like, I wish this had been like, it had felt more self-contained, like, just in case, they didn't get a second season, that I would have been happy with this being what it was. So I was a little disappointed in the sense that, yeah, it was sequel bait, but excited at the same time to, like, for like what is to come, and then disappointed again, realizing that what is to come is going to be a year to 2 years away. So that just, that upset me. But before I get into my final thoughts, I really want to hear what you thought about episode 8.
I love this episode. Special mention to the final scene specifically. Bro, you left out my boy, T. Arcellus.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
We get T. Arcellus and Arthur. We get a collab. Bro.
Yeah. Just funny. Watch the show, dude.
Oh man, that scene was so much fun. Anytime the T. Arcellus is on the screen, he steals the show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So yeah, we see Arthur's corpse, and the TSL is ripping out one of his eyeballs and implanting itself into Arthur. So my boy's gonna get another paycheck for season 2. I think Arthur's gonna be around a little bit longer, just in a different way than we thought. And it couldn't have happened to a nicer character too.
R.I.P. Arthur, man. He was such a great character. The actor who played him was just such a sweetheart.
And I think I was wrong in an earlier episode. I think I thought that Arthur was his actor was married to one of the Lost Boys actor, but upon further research, he's actually married to Zazie Beetz. So interesting couple right there. Interesting couple, yeah. I thought it was a little cool bit of trivia. But thank you for reminding me. Yes, that was the one scene I forgot to mention in episode 8. So more sequel bait.
More sequel bait.
Yeah.
I do agree that it was a sequel bait episode, and I know a lot of people aren't happy about that. But here's my reasoning. Okay, here's why I enjoyed that ending. I'm an Alien fan. I want more Alien. I don't want just a one-off show. I want to keep this trend going. I need more Alien. I need more T. Arcellus. You know what I could do less with though? If I'm being perfectly honest, as the aliens go, you could leave the flies out. You could leave the pod out. The pod, I think, now is my new nightmare fuel. Anytime it wiggled, bro, terrifying.
Pretty gross.
I love the show. Yeah. Anytime there's an alien on the screen, I'm glued to the screen. Anytime Kirsch or Morrow is on the screen, I am glued to the screen. Yeah, I don't know. I want more Alien. I hope that, Noah Hawley gets a little bit more creative control with the Alien franchise as a whole. I know he was just given this property, and I mean, he made such bangers with Fargo. Like, there are multiple seasons of Fargo that I really enjoyed.
I forgot. Yeah, I keep forgetting he did Fargo. He was the leading head behind Fargo.
Yeah.
No wonder this felt so, like, quirky.
Yeah. So give this man more control. I mean, Ridley Scott had a good run. Let Noah Hawley take over. Just maybe, who's ever in charge of the music.
Right.
Maybe
right.
Give
that back to Ridley Scott. I think the scores in, like, Prometheus and Covenant, as they're definitely divisive alien films, but I think the score was handled so well in those movies. So yeah, give us more of that just ominous, foreboding, booming bass and just synth waves, dude. Yeah, I miss that stuff for sure.
For sure. Final thoughts. Are we doing chicken buckets? Do you want to do chicken buckets?
Yeah. We'll do chicken buckets right now with final thoughts.
Okay. So I'll give you my chicken buckets for the episode, and for the overall show. Huh?
Bet.
Chicken buckets for this episode. 5 chicken buckets. Okay?
Okay.
I love
Hey.
this last episode. Loved it. I got all the good stuff. I got monologues. I got British people. I got androids. I got aliens. Bro, we even got a Batman freaking, backbreaking scene. So,
And you had a British android in there, so
we got a
that's
British
sweet. Yeah.
overall, here's where I'll differ, okay?
Yeah.
As much as I love aliens and British people and backs being broken, if every episode was this episode, it would have been a solid 5. It's not a solid 5 for me. And I have to be critical because all the stuff I loved. And all the stuff that I didn't particularly enjoy, it's just trivial things. So, overall, 4 out of 5 chicken buckets for Alien Earth.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not what I expected. Not 100%, but I'm going to have to agree with a lot of the points you made. Okay, so my final thoughts, not only for episode 8, but for the entire series, was that I was disappointed in the sequel bait. Heavily, heavily disappointed. I think you have to smell your own farts a little to go ahead and give a sequel bait like that and just know that you're going to get a second season. I like concise stories, something that they can tell in 8 episodes, and you could just not write that off, but say that this was its own story, its own self-contained story, and that's perfect. I definitely think you should make something, and while you're making it, plan on the fact that you might never get to continue the story again. So just in case, you can leave that wiggle room, leave that Michael Bay twitch of the finger, cut to Linkin Park song. Oh, they're still alive. Okay, there could be something out of this, But there wasn't a whole lot of impactful character deaths aside from Isaac and Arthur in this series that really stuck with me, and even their deaths you could call not really anything that is impactful because they are side characters at the end of the day. Nobody insanely important died. No disrespect to Arthur and Pickles. I loved both of those characters. I thought both of the actors absolutely killed it as both their characters. So yeah, I think leaving like all of the antagonists alive in a cell at the end, I didn't care for that too much. I'm glad Morrow and Kirsch are still around because I love their characters, but I think it took away from any emotional impact the series could have had. I think leaving Hermit alive was maybe a mistake, because if you want to sell that Wendy is losing her humanity, I think that her losing her only link to that humanity would have had a lot more weight and gravitas to it than we get at the end of the episode. So I love this show. I really do. I've been just the biggest stan for it since episode 1. I know that I gave episode 7 a 5. And the reason I'm going to give episode 8 a 4 is because the sequel bait, man. It really was. I feel like that they could have wrapped up a few more plot lines. They would have made the episode 20 minutes longer. They definitely could have. They could have ended this on a better note than what we got. And I definitely have to agree with you. The music, dude, has been just so jarring this entire series. Like, get my boy Ridley on the soundtrack.
That's honestly, that is my harshest critique of this show, is the music. It just doesn't make sense. I swear, if All Star Smash Mouth would have been the last song, I would have had the same reason.
No, actually, that would have been a 5. That would have been an easy 5 out of 5 for me. Or Nickelback, honestly. Either one of those could have won me over. I would have shut up. You wouldn't hear a single thing about my complaints for the soundtrack then. But yeah, bro, I gotta agree with you. It's a 4. The last episode's a 4. and I have to give the entire series, well, the first season as a whole, a 4. Maybe if I would binge it with the second season and it actually has like a beginning, middle, and end, then yeah, I would be more inclined to give it the entire series like a 5. But I guess we'll have to wait a year or two for that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, total bummer. Total bummer. Well, guys, it has been an absolute hell of a ride. It's been so much fun
How fun.
going through this series with you. I can't wait until we get to talk about Alien more. Something tells me we're going to be moving on to the Predator universe here soon when Badlands comes out, though.
Yeah.
So that's hype. We won't have to wait too long for some more android hijinks and alien goodness. So that's something to look forward to, friendos.
Okay, guys, so that about wraps up our episode. It's been a pleasure as always. Grim, I got a question for you before we
Yeah.
sign off. We'll be okay, won't we?
Won't we?